for my days in the sun. About to have a few more in California, going to
Whatever.
California
Oh,
next week.
tomorrow's topic.
Yes, please.
But I will be speaking to my LCA family about all the stuff that's happening. Life is amazing. It is what we create, and I'm just a product of what I've been creating all these years. And we talked about a lot of things. My group is now talking about traveling without no luggage, taking one-way tickets, one-way flights. I'm LCA is rubbing off on anybody who comes around me. So know that.
You
so
rubbed off on us.
listen, we are, we gonna do what we do when we do what we do when we do when we do it. On air with Sir say, I do what I do when I do what I do, and I do it like I'm doing it for TV. Always. We always doing it like we doing it for TV because we've been on TV. Well, we've been at this. This is not
Look,
new.
can I say something? We
Yes.
on TV right there. We had the little girl.
Skylar.
Skylar came over here yesterday, right? She's a little girl. So she came in front of the studio setup, and I got TV right there. She was like, "Oh my God!" She saw herself. I said, "Oh my goodness, you're on TV." She seen herself. Oh my God! It was the thing.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Listen, my grandkids are my granddaughters. We started that Queen series. Our video has now been viewed over 100,000 times. There's 20,000 likes on it and about 800 comments when I checked it last night. People, want to see positivity, and we can bring it. However you see fit, whatever is positive for you, you absolutely can share that. And when you have a extreme message that the people need to get, there's so many ways to give it to them now. We started with what, Twitter, and then we got Facebook, and now we got Instagram, and then Instagram got all this breakoffs, Instagram TV. Now there's Reels. There's oh God, what am I forgetting? TikTok. Oh my God, TikTok is where my video is getting the most um, views and stuff at, and I'm getting some of the spillover from that, onto my Instagram. So, I have a deal on the table to get to 30,000 followers on Instagram, and all of that is helping me to get to this $1 million deal that's on the table. So, and my friends, my family, all of them have been liking and resharing and sharing it with other people, and all of my LCA family have been doing the same exact thing. So I am so excited to be doing the stuff that I'm doing, because it really is setting me up for exactly everything that I've always wished for. So, and if I can be the evidence to anybody, it would be to keep following your dreams, keep pushing through, because it's important for us to do that. And so, in all my travels, a lot of people, they're suffering from so many emotional things, suffering from anxiety, suffering from, can I really do it? And so, one of the modalities that I picked up in 2020 is the modality of the emotion code, right? And so, I really wanted to expound upon that and what it really means and what it really is. And so, when we talk about our emotions, think about where we would be if we didn't have them, if we didn't have emotions, if all of the world had no emotions, you know would there be, what would the world be like? No joy would be possible, no feelings of happiness or bliss or charity or kindness, no love could be felt, no positive emotions of any kind. But on this imaginary emotionless planet, there be no negative emotions either. So, no sorrow, no anger, no feelings of depression, no grief. To live on such a planet would be just to merely exist. So, our emotions allow the world to be full of color. An emotionless life would be reduced to a gray, mechanical ritual from cradle to the grave, right? So be grateful that you can feel emotions, even though they're not always positive. And so you've probably experienced some emotions of anxiety as well as times of grief and anger, frustration, and fear. You may have even experienced periods of sorrow as well as depression, low self esteem, right? Hopelessness, or any wide array of negative emotions, right? And what you may realize is that some of those negative emotions that you've experienced, even though you may have felt them a long time ago, may be creating problems for you right now. Some of your old experiences can still be affecting you in a very subtle way, but very damaging ways. And so, this emotion work that I do is a way of finding these old emotions and releasing them forever. Because what we found is that most of our suffering is due to negative emotional energies that have become trapped in our bodies. And so this emotional work, gives us a powerful method of finding and releasing trapped energy, because all emotion is energy. And many of the people that I work with have found themselves with the trapped emotions. And once the trapped emotions have been released, they find themselves more able to live healthier and happier lives. A single, just one trapped emotion can create both physical and emotional problems. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. And so, there's some examples of people who, have had um, these emotions that cause problems. Like Allison had a debilitating hip pain that left her instantly, and she was able to dance in her performance, right? Linda's constant feelings of suicidal depression went away. Jennifer's chronic anxiety was gone, and she felt a total confidence she had been longing for. Lori could feel God's love for her for the first time in her life. Cheryl was finally able to shed her anger towards her ex husband and create a wonderful, loving relationship with a new man. Julia aced her test after having failed it several times. Larry's foot pain disappeared along with his limp. Connie's allergies disappeared. Neil's 2 year long feeling of resentment toward his boss vanished. Yolanda finally lost weight. She'd been struggling to lose for years. Joan's bulimia was gone within a week. Tom's vision improved. Jim's shoulder pain disappeared. Mindy's carpal tunnel syndrome went away. Sandy's knee pain, which she had been seeing for doctors for years, was gone in moments. Carol's night terrors, which had plagued her for 30 years, were gone within a week and did not return. And so there's so many people that have gotten so much benefit by having this modality done. This modality is called the emotion code, right? And so Dr. Bradley Nelson is the creator of it, him and his wife. And I guess around March of this year, learned this modality and have been using it on many of my clients. And truly, it has been an amazing transformation for many of them. As when you think about emotions, what really are they? As you live through the days and years of your life, you are continually experiencing some sort of emotions. And these feelings, they serve a purpose. They provide motivation, direction, communication from your body, your higher self, and the divine, right? Negative emotions can also be useful, even if there are times when you are uncomfortable and then they're painful. all of the negative emotional extremes that we feel at times, it seems to be all a part of what it means to be human. And emotions don't just come out of nowhere. They're generated by our bodies based on two criteria: what we are experiencing in that moment, and information that is stored in our bodies and our minds from past experiences. So, whether we're feeling happiness or shame, that emotion comes from deep within and for a reason. So, emotions are a vibration of pure energy. They're all energy. All emotions are energy. So, every emotion has its own unique vibrational frequency. Everything in the universe we know is made of energy, and emotions are no different. And so we are affected by the energy of our emotions simply because our bodies are also made of energy. So the emotional experience in a nutshell is: first, our body generates the emotional vibration. Then we begin to feel the emotion and any thoughts or physical sensations that come along with it, right? Then, third, we choose to let the emotion go and we move on after a few seconds or several minutes. The last step is called processing, and once it's completed, we have successfully moved on from the emotional experience and it shouldn't cause us any problems. However, if either the second or third step is interrupted, the emotional experience is incomplete and the energy of the emotion is likely to become trapped in your body. Now, we don't completely understand how these emotions get trapped just yet. That's still kind of a mystery. um, However, there's more overwhelmingly and extreme the more overwhelming and extreme the emotion is, the more likely it is to become trapped. So there could be other reasons such as weakness in the body, or many old trapped emotions of similar vibration that can be stuck in the body. So as we would like to forget some of the emotionally difficult times that we've been through, the influence of those events may stay with us in the form of a trapped emotion. Sometimes we can consciously recall of these challenging events. Sometimes sometimes we can't. So whether you remember a painful event or not doesn't really matter. What usually happens is the subconscious mind remembers and holds on to it. So the way that we access these emotions that are stuck in you is by using your subconscious mind. Many people who have been through like extreme trauma have blocked it out for years of their lives and can remember, almost nothing, right? But the emotion code allows us to bypass the conscious mind and really go to the subconscious mind to get the answer. And each time you trap an emotion, you get stuck in the middle of whatever traumatic event you've experienced. So instead of moving beyond that angry moment or temporary bout with grief or depression, you retain the negative emotion, the emotional energy within your body, potentially causing physical and emotional stress. Most people are amazed to find that their emotional baggage is more literal than that they've ever imagined. So trapped emotions actually consist of well-defined energies that have shape and form, and although they are not visible, they are truly real. So there's so many of us who have experienced, some of the most traumatic things, whether it was a car accident, some sort of assault, um, even something as simple as a parent's divorce when you were young, you could still be, holding on to that. And these trapped emotions can really hold your future hostage. If you ever do you ever feel that you're struggling under the weight of like something that you can't put your finger on? Like, what is it? Perhaps your life is not turning out the way that you hoped, or maybe the attempts to form lasting relationships have never seemed to work out for you. You may wish that certain things in your past had never occurred, but feel powerless to move on past them. You may even have an uneasy feeling that your present is being held hostage by your past in some vague, indefinable way. And that's really what happens to a lot of us. There was a story, a girl named Jennifer, and she was a fun loving college student with a bright future. And college life was going well, but she kept having these concerns that events from her past still troubled her. And she wondered if she was suffering from trapped emotions. And so she says she was involved in a tumultuous relationship with a young man a year before. And that and since that failure of that stormy relationship, she still felt the sting of insecurity every time she met somebody new. And so she had an unfounded fear of commitment that she couldn't overcome. And she seemed, it seemed unintentional, like sabotage every time she got the opportunity to meet somebody new. And so upon doing the emotion code, it was discovered that she was indeed suffering from trapped emotions. And so we found creative insecurity in her, along with discouragement and hurt and pain that came from that relationship rather. And because of that, that made her feel lack of confidence about creating new things, about starting a new job and entering new relationships. So she had some of these experiences she had even prior to the stormy relationship, and all those emotions were trapped in her body. And so within a few minutes of doing that, doing the emotion code on her, she felt much lighter. And a few days later, she said she felt amazingly different. She had a noticeable improvement in her ability to articulate through her thoughts, rather, and express herself in the company of somebody new that she was seeing. So we may not know what it is that has happened, why we are feeling, stuck or trapped, or what the emotions are that we are experiencing, but they are very real and very much alive. So it is important that we pay attention to these things that you are feeling. So, getting rid of trapped emotions can help you in the same way. You can overcome any obstacles from your past, bring new life to marriage and other familiar and personal relationships. When you free yourself of trapped emotion, you'll find yourself really feeling more secure, more motivated, liberated to create relationships, careers, and the life that you always wanted. When I decided to add this modality to my practice, I of course used it on myself first. It was done on me first. And just the freedom, the confidence, Kemp will tell you, he told me to do a whole lot of things a long time ago. Probably, I don't know, 5 years now, 2014, 2026 years, I think now. Yeah, about 2014 to now. I think that's about right. And so he kept saying, start your own show. Share the information that and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think so. And in my own self-discovery, I felt, I found, many trapped emotions that came from childhood, from anxiety from school. I found, discouragement from, work, all kinds of things I found from my marriage. These things are there. They are there, and they are causing you to live fearfully. They're causing you to not do the things that you really want to do for your life. And you're trying to figure out, like, why can't I put a finger on what it is that I'm experiencing? What am I going through that I can't just take the next step? What is holding me back? You know, and 9 times out of 10, you are burdened somehow with past emotions, but can't seem to or don't know how to get over them. In Western medicine, the traditional approach is to talk about it, talk about your past, discuss coping mechanisms with a therapist. While this is very helpful for a lot of people and can save lives, it does not address the trapped emotions directly.
Elena,
Yes,
ain't nothing wrong with me.
ain't nothing wrong with you.
Uh, I'm good.
I know you good. I know you good.
I said, because I'm saying it like you look at it, and it's like you never see that. Like you, even though you're saying what you're saying, like anybody want to take this test? Nope, ain't nothing wrong with me.
Yep.
So you don't take, just like that. There goes this thing. I'm like, oh my
We
god,
don't
because
assess.
yeah,
We don't
like
assess.
oh that ain't going you. That's not you. That's
Yep.
not me.
That's not
That
me.
ain't nobody in this room. Nobody got everybody's good.
Listen,
Okay.
when I did the emotion code for the first time, um, it made me very like, you get a gamut of emotions, but I felt very overwhelmed by the fact that, I thought I was okay. I really thought I was okay. Just like you said, nothing wrong with me. I'm good. But see, the reason this modality works so well is because it taps into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has been with you your entire life.
Mm,
And you know how you say we not keeping score? We may not be keeping score consciously, but subconsciously, your body is keeping score. Your subconscious mind knows who did what and when. And that's why when you don't deal with it, what happens is the subconscious mind is there, and then you get into, maybe it's around relationships, you get into a new relationship, right? And the new person triggers something that happened before, right? And when they trigger it, you just go all the way off.
oh,
And now this new person is in a fight that's not a fair fight because they don't even know why they in it. They don't know why they in it. So it's not fair. You going all off because somebody cheated on you before, and because they was out till 10 o'clock, you automatically think, oh, this is what the other one did, and that's what happened. You didn't pick up the phone when I called you, so you must have been with somebody else. And now they have you having this whole story that you told yourself, and this other person has no idea what's going on. Babe, my phone died. I was making my way trying to get home, and I got called back in by the boss. Simple stuff that meant nothing. But because you have these emotions that are trapped in you from old experiences, they triggered it just by being late. And instead of you giving them the opportunity to let you know why they were late, you automatically going all the way to the left. And it's not a fair fight. It is not a fair fight. So we, need to examine, what it is that may be trapped in you, because you want better relationships. You want not to hold on to things, but things that are already there, you got to you got to get to the true root of the problem, or else it will continue to be there no matter how much you talk about it. You may, and what people will do when they have these trapped emotions that they don't know what to do with. They may find themselves working long hours, self-medicating in various ways. You may fail to um, perform the way that you need to. You may have difficulty making your life work the way that it's supposed to. And oftentimes the underlying cause of your frustration is a trapped emotion from a past event that you may not even realize that's sabotaging your efforts. And when I some of the people that I work with, in this last, I guess, 8 months now, they have found some things and like, oh my God, I thought I let that go. You didn't. And there's so many emotions that can, you know, get trapped and cause so many problems. There's a story of a court reporter. She was in school. This woman Julia was in school to become a court reporter, and so she was all excited about all of the new job opportunities that she was going to get. So court reporters, they have to learn to type really fast in this special phonetic machine, and they keep track of all of the records of everything said in the courtroom. And so she did fine in class, but whenever she had to take the exam, she would fail. She was so worried. She had already failed the test 3 times and was afraid that she was going to fail the next one. So she had the emotion code modality done on her, and it was found that she had a trapped emotion of discouragement. The trapped emotion of discouragement was placed in her body when she was 15 years old. She had gone through a really difficult time when her parents divorced. She experienced overwhelming discouragement, which became trapped in her body. So, in the testing situation, when the pressure was on, the trapped emotion of discouragement would sabotage her performance. Once discouragement was released, she sailed through the next test, feeling relaxed and confident, and received almost a perfect score. And she had no idea that her parents' divorce and her old feelings about it could be affecting her so negatively in her present. So, in the same way, the wind affects us, we feel it, whether we see it or not. Trapped emotions are invisible and can exert a powerful influence on you, and you don't even know it. A significant amount of self sabotage, physical illness, emotional difficulties are actually caused by these unseen energies. And so, having these trapped emotions can cause damage. They can cause you to make wrong assumptions, to overreact to innocent remarks, to misinterpret behavior, and short circuit your relationships. Even worse, trapped emotions can create depression, anxiety, and other unwanted feelings that you can't seem to shake. And so, that saying, time heals all wounds? Perhaps not.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps not, because we heard it, time heals all wounds. And, it's not necessarily true, because if you haven't let go of all the emotions and the pain from prior relationships, maybe you had therapy to deal with it and it seems like it's all behind you, but your body may literally have inhibited by invisible energies of old emotions, that these wounds are still there and cannot and will not heal just by talking about that. We cover everything because that's what we are taught to do. If we are taught to, we gonna be all right. Get over yourself. Stop crying about it. Stop talking about it. Just shut up and go on. That's what we're told. That's what we're taught. That's our programming. But what we're learning is that doesn't work. It doesn't work. Anybody who has experienced anxiety and depression can tell you it doesn't work. You have to deal with this, deal with these emotions, because when, as much as we think that time has healed the wounds and everything is behind us, these invisible energies of trapped emotions, they can influence the way you act and feel in your current relationships and may even sabotage them. The longer a trapped emotion remains in your body, the more likely it is to create emotional and physical pain for you. So, when a trapped emotion is released, a burden literally is lifted. As a matter of fact, people most often experience a feeling of lightness upon release of the trapped emotion. They're like, "Oh my God, darling, I feel so much lighter. What did you do?" I said, "I ain't do nothing. You did it." So, finding and releasing trapped negative energies can lead to big change in how you feel, how you behave, in the choices you make, and the results that you get. And most of the time, the newfound freedom and confidence start to flow automatically. Automatically. It's so many ways that this modality has helped so many people, in a short amount of time. Just the people that I've been able to work with, one young woman, she's now 42, I think, 42. We found sexual trauma when she was 17. And because she had been carrying that from 17 to 42, every relationship that she had been in was traumatic. Every person that or even persons in her intimate relationships, her personal relationships, her work relationships, she always felt that somebody was going to take something from her. They're going to take my intellectual property. They're going to steal my business. They're going to steal what I'm doing. Everybody's going to take. And why does she feel that way? Because something was taken from her when she was 17. Now, once we released those emotions around the event that happened when she was 17, she is working so much easier with people. And I work directly with her. And I see such difference in her. I'm like, I can't work with you. I can't work with you. I had said this years ago. I've been knowing her for years, and I didn't know like what the problem was. And so she was enlightened. I was enlightened. And so by removing that, she has become an amazing pleasure to work with. And so it is just a way to really clean up. And then once you clear these trapped emotions, you clear them forever. Now, that's not to say that new emotions can't get trapped, because new emotions can get trapped. However, the old stuff can be released and released forever. And so there's so many stories of people who have been pinned to their past by these negative energies. But as you experience this emotion co-modality, it really helps you to release from that. And so, trapped emotions, we already know that for every emotion, there's some disease that gets caused from that emotion. We know that from our list from Louise Hay. And I believe that Dr. Brantley Nelson and Louise Hay were kindred spirits, because they come up with something very similar in how to, release this. All of for everything is there's something that can be caused, because trapped emotions, they lower your immune function, they make the body more vulnerable to disease, they can distort body tissue, block the flow of energy, prevent normal function of organs and glands. And so there's conditions that patients who've gotten the emotion code therapy done that have disappeared after the treatment. Things like addiction, allergies, anxiety, asthma, heartburn, headaches, fibromyalgia, eye pain, multiple sclerosis, neck pain, nerve pain, night terrors, autism, autoimmune issues, back pain, Bell's palsy. We all know that each of these things are connected to something. Joint pain, chronic fatigue, all of these things have been released when the negative emotions that a person has been carrying, is gone. And so we're not saying that releasing trapped emotion is a cure all, and it should not be used to just talking about major disease and medical conditions, but rather it should be looked upon as an additional therapy on everything else that you're doing. Because when trapped emotions are contributing to a physical illness, removing them can only help you. And so the emotion code is easy to use, it's precise. Sometimes the release of trapped emotion will bring about instantaneous and dramatic effects, but most of the time the effects are more subtle. Either way, the release often seems to bring a greater sense of contentment and peace. And I am living proof of that. And many of my clients, my what I'm working on now is getting a bunch of them to do some video testimonials. They're working on that now. I used this modality while I was away in Miami on some of the people that were in the house with me. And I mean, they are, listen, some of them, they've gotten such confidence, with, in their lives, and one of them was like, I'm so confident, I'm staying another week. I'm like, okay, stay another week now. Don't get kicked out your house now. So I mean, there's so many people who have discovered this healing modality, and you'll find that it'll bring new joy. And let me just say, this isn't everything that I do, for some reason it finds me, right? And so Dr. Loretta, one of her friends, introduced it to her. And then Dr. Loretta said, this is something I think you should, you know, um, take a look at. And, it is, I'm so grateful for people who, like Dr. Loretta, who would be, sharing something that she thinks that I should use as a modality. And it has absolutely changed my practice. It's changed the lives of the people who have been impacted by it. And so the emotion code, the way that we determine what it is that you are experiencing. What Bridget say? Why are you saying wow? What Bridget say? I ain't see it. Y'all having these whole chat comments, and I can't read them that fast. Hold on, what Bridget said. Let me pause. What Bridget said. Is you gonna tell me what Bridget said?
Oh,
About cancer is the result of deep hurt and regret.
Yes.
I saw that in my mama. She had so much she held that I found out right before she passed away.
Wow. Yep. Yes. Cancer is a disease of anger, deep hurt, regret, and deep grief. And I know that my mother suffered from deep grief. 7 years ago, almost eight, my father died. My mom and dad had been married since they were 15 and 17. So she was grieving her best friend. They was together their whole lives. My dad, so my mom died at 71. So 8 years from that, was that 60 something? 60 years with somebody. That's a long time. That's a long time. And I promise you, my dad loved my mother and cared for her in a way that none of us could ever have duplicated, you know. And then, 3 years ago, my brother being killed, that's, first your husband and now your son. And both of them died suddenly. It wasn't like they had been sick for a while and you knew it was coming, kind of thing. No, both of them snatched out of her life like fast. And so those things get trapped and they're there. And then, it made absolute sense why my mother suffered from cancer. And it's so difficult, when older people, when you try to teach them a modality like this, you ask them how are they, and they say I'm okay, I'm all right, but they're not all right. And they're not going to tell you because they come from a time when we're not supposed to talk about it. And so they don't. And so they don't. And so because of that, you can't even help them. As much as you try and dig and try, to do all the different things that the modalities, and they don't respond because they don't want to really. And so as hard as we try, it just doesn't help. Yep, I believe that too, Laverne, about your cousin. I got a chance to talk to her a few times. I remember that. And so, the way that we find this, I can't see what time it is. What time is it, sir?
Girl, just go ahead. You got
Okay, all right, all right, all right, all right. So I just want to talk about, how this modality is done. And so the way this modality is done is, I don't know if you guys remember when we were in the cabin and I showed you how to do muscle testing with your arms like this. So again, the body knows the difference between the truth and a lie. So if you press down on the arm and it goes down easily, that's a negative response. If the arm stays straight, that's a positive response. So that's one of the ways that we get the answers from your subconscious mind. The other way is using something called the sway test. The sway test is what you standing with your feet together and standing still. You can close your eyes, and when you do the sway test, yes, we did it on a cruise. When we use the sway test, what happens is the body will sway forward, it'll sway backwards, it may even go side to side. And when we get off the phone, test it. When we get off, test it. Just stand still and watch your body sway. And what happens is, as your body is swaying, it may sway forward. I may, ask a question and the body will sway forward. Swaying forward is an indication of yes. Swaying backwards is an indication of no. So we can use that sway test. Now there's also something where you can self test. You know how you can feel the strength in your arms, right? If you cross your fingers over like this, use this top finger to press down on. So that's the index and the middle finger. You put the middle finger over top the index finger, and when you press down, you can literally ask your own body questions. And when you press it, if that finger stays strong, the answer is yes, because all of your answers are within you. This is not any spiritism, this is not voodoo, this is not anything. This is the body's energy giving you the answers that are already in you, right? And so if you press it and it goes down, then that's a negative response. If you press it and it stays strong, then that's a positive response. So this is a way to self-test yourself using muscle testing, because all the answers are within you. All the answers are within you. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. And so God has given us everything that we need. We're connected, mind, body, and soul. And so we use the sway test, right? And then we have a chart. And on this chart, we have 2 columns in the chart and we have 6 rows. And what Dr. Bradley has done is he has broken down the most emotions into 60 emotions. And so we can find what emotion you have based on this chart and muscle testing. And once we find it, right, we use the governing meridians in the body. So we have these, we are all electric, we're all energy, right? And so the meridians run through the body. They're almost like an electrical system. And so the governing meridian runs from between your forehead all the way down over the back of your head, down to the base of your spine. And so, what we do then, once we have identified this emotion, we then use a magnet. So, I have magnets, right? Magnets. And so, and you can do it with a refrigerator magnet. A magnet is a magnet. So, you take the magnet. Once we say, all right, Darlena has discouragement, we take this magnet and we roll it over all the way down. When you are using it on yourself, just to the nape, to the base of your neck. If I was doing it for you, I would take it from here all the way down and bring it to the base of your neck. And we roll it down 3 times for your personal emotions. For inherited emotions, we roll it 10 times. And we pull those emotions literally out of your body using magnetic therapy. I didn't believe it at first either. I could hear your thoughts right now. This girl done lost it. But I promise you, people's lives have been amazingly changed by this emotion code therapy. It is Googleable. You can Google it. It's on YouTube. You can do any kind of research that you want. Just know that right here in your midst, you now have an emotion code practitioner. And so emotions are real. They are not to be ignored. They are affecting your lives in ways that sometimes it's just sad. When I look at my mom and her experiences, and even my dad too, especially men, men men are told to suck it up, shut up, don't cry, man up, all that stuff. And they carry all these things inside. And then you wonder why they're angry. Why are they experiencing the stuff that they're experiencing? Because they've been told to suck it up and shut up and be a man, which is not right. They need to be able to express. They need to be able to release. They need to be able to, say how they feel. And when they don't, they carry it, and it will show up in your relationship. It will show up in many, many ways. And so this code is a way to pull it out, to empty those Gucci bags of emotion. Because we start out with these little trash bags, but as we get grown, they turn into Gucci and Dior and all that. We carry these emotional bags around, and these bags it's time to empty them. And so, with that being said, back to you, Mr. Satchel. Bag lady, you gonna hurt your back carrying all them bags like that. Yep, that's a whole vibe.
Come on over here, Crystal.
Me and
No.
Crystal, me and Crystal.
Don't get in your way.
Me and Crystal tag team in Miami, didn't we?
Yeah, he was the elder.
Yes.
You gotta have the elders in the house. Those some wise young folks. They understand what they need around them.
Yes, yes, yes.
Some wise young people. Now, I just wanted to, basically give my testimony to what you're saying, Darlena, about, emotions. So, I didn't have all those the modality. I didn't have all of that. But what I did have was I started paying attention to what I felt rather than ignoring it or excusing it away. And so I start owning what I felt. And me recognizing and giving myself permission to feel, because just like I told myself, I didn't want to feel because it hurt to feel, which is how the emotion got trapped in my body. And then how I ended up 273 pounds was because I was carrying an emotional pain body because I didn't release my feelings. I suppressed them. And so then those feelings imploded, within me. And so I was carrying them. And so the way that I was able to release them was to start telling myself the truth about how I felt. I quit becoming the sacrifice for everybody else to live and began honoring what was true for me and then standing in that truth. And that is where my liberation and freedom came from. A lot of people look at me and they say, dang, what did you do to lose the weight? Really, it was just a mindset change. I made a commitment that I was going to put me first. I started working out and being consistent. I started loving on me. There's a scripture in 3 John and 2 that says, he wish above all that we prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prosper. So in order to have prosperity and it be sustainable prosperity, whether it be mentally, physically, financially, you've got to do your soul work. The scripture says it, 3 John and 2. That's God's prayer for us, is that we prosper and be in good health. Absolutely. But you're not going to prosper and your health is not going to be good unless your soul prospers first. Absolutely. And so I had to do my soul work, and in doing my soul work, what it did was it led me to the trapped emotion that I needed to release. Because you don't really know sometimes what it is that needs to be released, but the indicator is trusting what you feel. That was my indicator. I didn't trust what I felt. I wanted to protect everybody else from feeling what I felt, so I became the sacrifice. I was never supposed to become the sacrifice for other people to live. That's not how God set it up. But I did because I was hurt, and I wanted to protect other people from feeling that hurt. And in doing so, all of that emotion that I didn't deal with, didn't voice about, didn't share, didn't honor my feelings, didn't tell them that they hurt my feelings. I just kept pushing it down, that I was almost, 275 pounds. Yeah. And so the beginning to me freeing myself from that emotional pain body was telling myself the truth and then honoring it, and then not worrying about how that truth was going to affect other people, because that was not my responsibility. That's another mind attachment. It's going to bring on another emotion, and then I probably would have been 300 pounds. So I just wanted to share my testimony of doing the work, of honoring my truth, and then being willing to forsake everything that I think that I knew. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a life support system. I had to let all of that stuff go and realize that really what's within me and who I am and who God created me to be is enough. It's not attached to another. God gave me everything. And so the people in my life add to me. They are not the source of my existence. And so once I realized that and let all of that stuff go, honor my truth, forsook all of what I thought I knew to find the truth, then, you had a weight loss. And then you on the Miami Beach in 2 pieces. I'm just saying. This is liberation, right? I ain't talking it. I'm walking what I talk. Absolutely. I have the results of doing the work. Absolutely. You will.
Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. I love it. And truly, we definitely see I have to speak for me. Ain't that what you say, Crystal? I'm going to just talk about me. I saw Crystal before weight loss, and now, the person that she is definitely a freer her, a happier her, an amazing her. Listen, them young folks said, wherever we go, bring Crystal West. Period. Wherever we go, she could come. She could come.
The first lady got something to say.
Well, I kind of took exception with time heals all wounds.
Yeah.
Because when you listen to everything that you're saying, the one thing that's common, all of that takes place over time.
Yeah.
It takes place over time. But, it's just the simple passage of time itself, and you're not doing anything to proactively heal it, then no, that won't work.
Yes.
But when once you realize that that you're hurt, you're carrying around that hurt, and once you actively decide that you're going to address that,
Yes.
then I think that saying is true. Time will heal. When
When you
you
do the work.
are, yeah, when you do the work, because it's going to take time and it's not going to happen overnight. And in a lot of cases, we carry it around for years to begin with before we even realize that it's still an issue.
Yeah.
We're like programmed to cover up stuff.
Yep.
The first thing you do, if you fall and scrape your knee, you do what? You go put a Band-Aid on it.
Absolutely.
Right? And you cover it up. And I used to be so good at that. Put a Band-Aid on it, put a Band-Aid on it, put a Band-Aid on it. And it would just get sticky and look messy after that. Then at some point, someone would say, "Oh, honey, you need to let that thing get some air."
Literally get some air.
You need to let it get some air.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have to reveal it. You have to reveal it and deal with it. Stare it in
Absolutely.
your face and deal with it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think before we throw that in the throw that one out in the kitchen sink, I just wanted to say that all of this takes time, and sometimes we don't get the time because we may leave here with this unresolved
Absolutely.
feeling.
That happens. That has happened.
Yeah, and it can be heartbreaking. I
Yeah.
know, for you, just you saying that your parents were married that long, and just how that would, for me, that would be like, wow, like that's crazy, to be together that long. And we all have heard those stories where um the one person in the marriage dies, and like within months or weeks or days, the other one goes right
Behind
behind
them.
them.
Yep.
That's an intense.
Yeah.
It's an intense grief.
Yes, it
It's an
is.
intense grief. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I just wanted
Emotions are real. Emotions are real. The fact that everybody can't push them down, that part is real too. And when people are experiencing stuff, sometimes they are not as easy to share with anybody that they're having those experiences, whether it's extreme sadness or anger or anxiety or whatever it is. People just be like, I'm all right, I'm all right. And really, I just saw a commercial last night. It said it's okay not to be okay.
Yes, I've seen that.
It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to say that you're not okay. It's okay to reach out for help when you're not okay. That's the
Right.
purpose. That's the reason why the crystals of the world exist. That's the reason why the Darlenas of the world exist. That's why platforms like this exist, because it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to need each other. It's okay to need somebody. It's okay to pick up the phone and call whomever you resonate with. We are all intuitively connected to the person that's going to give you what you need. See, a lot of times we show up in a doctor's office and the doctor said, "Oh, I got this for you. I'm going to give you, you're going to get this medication, you're going to get this surgery, and then you're going to be, hopefully better." And sometimes when you hear that, it don't sit right with you, and you be like, I don't know if that's the best thing. That's your intuition telling you that is not the best thing for you. Learn to trust yourself, trust your gut, what your gut feels. The first time, they say always follow your first mind, because when you don't follow your first mind, you always find yourself worse off than you were before the decision. And so if you find that, speaking to a, a certain person or getting a modality, if it feels right in your spirit, go with it, because that's what your body is telling you. This is going to be good for us. So we just got to trust our gut.
One more. Bridget, say what you
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Great morning, everybody. Okay, so listen. Crystal gave me an affirmation about 5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, this is your medicine. You take your medicine every day. She gave me an affirmation. I literally typed it and hung it up on the wall in my mama's house. This morning, I'm looking around while Darlana is talking, and I'm looking at the release of emotion. I am not in my mama's house, y'all. In 5 months of taking my medicine that Crystal gave me, which was an affirmation, I took it, I typed it, and I read it every day to stop becoming the sacrifice for my family. Stop becoming the sacrifice for your family. You can't save them. They're going to have to do their own work.
Yep.
Stop. I did that. And in 5 months, y'all, of making the decision to not be the sacrifice, in 5 months, I have manifested in my life some shit that I have taken years to manifest.
Wow.
In months. All because I made a decision, and it came back to me what Spirit said to me last year. Generational curses are broken by making a decision.
Absolutely.
You have to make a decision, first of all, that you do not want to be where you are.
Absolutely.
You just don't want to be there.
Sure.
You have to confront it. Like you say, Darlana, you can't just put a cover over it. You got to confront them emotions.
You must answer.
And it's such a habit for me now to where I start to even notice my energy is off. I start to notice that my body is off. I'm so aware of it now until I do not allow anything to throw my energy off because I feel it in my body.
Absolutely.
I literally feel it in my body, Darlana. And so I wasn't going to say nothing, but I had to say something because I'm like, literally, I would turn my camera on, but I'm at home, y'all. I'm at home. I took a day off, and I'm at home in my bed, laid across my bed, listening to LCA, just like, man, wow, 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 wow. Like, ooh, Darlana, oh my God. Like,
yes.
And I'm so glad to have real life-giving connections, man. Like,
yes.
I can't even, when people ask me about y'all, I can't just say y'all my friends. I'm like, these people is so much deeper than my friends. Like,
yes.
My coworker is like, you going to Miami? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Miami. You better leave me alone. You better leave me alone.
Absolutely.
Go home to Keisha. Keisha calling you. Don't ask me about Miami no more. Because I'm like, this good ass energy I got going on, this man be like, what are you doing?
Yes.
Listen, I got life-giving connections, and you can't give me that, man. Yes. Look, you can't give me that. I don't care how awesome you look and wonderful you are.
Absolutely.
You understand? Go. Take that energy that way. Take that look. Take that energy that way.
Absolutely.
I'm connected to some real life-giving stuff. Man, listen, I don't have it to do, and I'm so grateful. Y'all don't have no dang on idea. You may have an idea. You hear me?
Yes.
But I'm just saying, wow. Man, listen, this is real, y'all. This is so real.
It really
I was raised in the church, and I'm not saying that prayer don't work, but I think it's the modalities that we were taught that don't work. Okay, those modalities were not working because they don't have all of some components were missing.
Yes,
you understand? The components were missing.
Absolutely.
And now that we have some of the missing pieces to really identify it, like you said, it's all within. Crystal says it all the time. Yes. It's within you. You keep looking outside of you for the and it's within you.
Absolutely.
Listen, y'all, 5 months ago, Crystal Gay, I found my medicine last night. I was in my closet, in my big old walk-in closet,
Oh my
going looking
goodness.
for something else, and I found my medicine. And I'm gonna put it back up on this wall in this room. I don't care if it's the only thing in this wall, because I have to remind myself daily, you are not the sacrifice. Because people try to make you the sacrifice every day.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to say no, no.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
have to catch yourself real quick.
Yes, you know that's my story as the grandma, right?
Good.
I had to say, take me off the emergency list. I'm not.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's
Mm-mm.
like, my kids know now. Like they know, like they don't know where I'm at. They don't know where I'm gonna be. So they be like, "Where in the world are you?" That's how when they call me. That's the first question. Where are you? Are you are you home? Are you in the States? Are you out of the country? Like, and I like that. Like that's cool. Like, yeah, like no. And that's only because, I got married when I was 18. I had my first child at 19, my second at 21. And, I was a mom early. A mom and a wife early. And so for the first half of my life, I spent it being responsible, being a mom, being, a wife and all of that. And now here in the second half, it's a little different. Kids is grown and the party is on, on and popping. Just really, I mean, life to me is a party in this moment because I get to choose what I want to do now. And I'm not really letting other people make choices for me. I'm making choices for myself. And whatever makes my heart happy, that's what I do. And if it don't make my heart happy, I ain't doing it. I'm definitely not doing it. Nope.
Come on now, give it up for the great, amazing sisters.
Ooh, ooh. We got it done. We got it done. We got it done.
Remember, you got to go and take control right now, because if you don't, modality
Yep.
will. We
Absolutely.
found that
Abs-
out, right?
yes.
So I got Crystal West. I think so. She don't want to hear. Oh. You got your hand up? Yes, no, maybe so. Go.
No, I'm always got my hand up.
Oh, no. You need a talk show. No, I'm
Right, we do. We really do. But I was just going to say that what I have learned, and maybe this will help someone, is that whatever story you tell yourself, that story becomes your truth. And so I told myself a story that, it's going to take this amount of time, or it's this, or it's that. And so that was the story I told myself. But if I be completely honest, when I made a decision and packed my stuff and got in that U-Haul and moved to Texas, all I did was decide. And when I made the decision, it was all the way up from there. And so it was the story that I told myself that had me in prison to believe that it had to be, that it takes time. No, all you got to do is to make a decision and keep deciding every single day that you're going to keep doing what it is that you desire to do, or it makes you feel good rather than what you've done. And so it's according to your faith that it be done unto you. And my Bible says that we can have now faith. So if we live in the present, then whatever you desire, if you really believe it, you can have it right now. It doesn't have to take time. Make a decision, decide, and then when that subconscious programming, thoughts, feelings, emotions get triggered, feel it, self-check, be a good shepherd over your sheep, meaning your thoughts, and bring those thoughts back into alignment with what it is that you say you desire, want for right now. And so I wanted to help somebody who thinks that it's going to take a long time. And all you got to do is make a decision. I decided, and I promise you my life ain't, for those on this LCA call, y'all know it's just been going from one extreme to the next. My life has not been the same because I made a decision. I didn't tarry with it, and I'm choosing every single day. I keep deciding, I keep choosing me. And so that now is my process. Yes. I can have what I say right now. Ask Kemp, it happened yesterday.
Right now. Right now.
Right now, right now.
Look at that. And I heard you cut up down there, Miss Darlene Rose. Drop it. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that one though. We'll talk after this call. But you
All
guys
right.
have a great day. Thank you so much, Darlene, and everybody else that
So welcome.
participated. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Perfect.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. It has been more than an hour. We are normally just an hour, but today, an hour and a half. So hopefully, you've gotten some great information on what the emotion code is, how it can be used, and if you are interested in having a therapy session done, this modality done on you, by all means, reach out, inbox, DM. This is something that can be done virtually, but it is life changing. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.